Hello everybody, Tyron the God 3 here, and welcome to Dragon Ball Super Reviews. Today, for all two of you that are really watching this, because I'm gonna be honest, this will probably be the least viewed Dragon Ball Z video I make this entire week, because this last few days of this week I'm basically gonna be dubbing DBZ week, or Dragon Ball week, because Super's involved, I guess. So yeah, I can tell my super review's literally gonna be the weakest out of all of the videos and during this week. But you know what? I have to do it. I held off for a while, mostly because of personal stuff and because I had to watch the Resurrection F movie. So yeah, the reason I didn't do the review on Sunday as it was is just because things that came up and there was a lot I had to take into consideration. Also with work. I think by the time it actually finally got subbed, I was coming back from work too tired, and then I held it off, and then I remembered, oh crap, I've got to watch Resurrection F. So don't worry, that review and another video of the impressions will be coming on later this week. I've already discussed about it on Twitter, so you can check that out if you want to. But also, I will be doing a little bit of talking with KG and Dean, like that'll be the impressions basically. And like I said, I'll more than likely be doing that video tomorrow along with the Pokemon X and Y reviews. That video, I'm pretty sure the Pokemon X and Y episode is just the Chespin episode, so you all won't be missing much. So you'll get two videos in one day for you Pokemon fans and Dragon Ball fans. You'll get two videos that day, and then a third video the day after on Friday, because I really want to wait until like a large majority of people have seen Resurrection F before I go off and do the review. So with that all being said, today we'll be doing the review of episode 4. And this episode is titled Mission Dragon Balls, Pilaf's Gang's Big Plan. This episode was okay. It was dealing a lot with Pilaf and the crew, so it was basically a lot of people were expecting a very comedic episode, and that's basically what they got. It didn't really advance the plot any, but then again, they're taking the plot of a 1 hour and 30-minute movie and trying to stretch it into a saga. We were bound to run into some episodes that were gonna be just sort of lull. I mean, yeah, like it slowly did advance the plot. We learned a few things, but it didn't like dramatically advance it because the major fights don't happen until later on in like the next few episodes. So, with that all said, we can get started with this brief plot summary. With the episode basically begins with King Kai. He's just all worried about, oh crap, here the Whis and Beerus are going to be coming here, and King Kai is just paranoid, and he's wondering why he's headed here. Then he's like, he doesn't want Goku to figure out, so he tries to distract Goku as much as possible, but that's all he can do until, he gets it, because he doesn't want Goku to get amped about it. So with that all being said, once that ends up happening, we cut to Bulma's party. And when we cut to Bulma's party, it's just so. I thought this moment was really funny because we like. It's not very long, but we do get nice moments with all with the rest of the cast of DBZ. It's like they're all doing the party, and I like the short little things that happen. Like I think Master Roshi and Oolong are just reading a bunch of porno magazines, which I thought that was pretty funny. The Ox King's like you're sort of eating, and he's laughing at him. And then I like when Piccolo and Dende do a toast. When they do the toast, their glasses are full of water. Nice attention to detail because Namekians can only live off water. Well, Namekians only need to live off water. So I like that, like little dynamics moment. And then I like when Majin Buu, I think this was probably the funniest one, and it involved Hercule. Freaking Hercule laid a whole plate of food down in front of Majin Buu. Majin Buu ate it in like one frame. And then Hercule's eyes are just like popped out to the extreme. Like, what the hell? And then after that, we get some other nice moments. Family talking to each other. Bulma's pissed because Goku and Vegeta aren't there because they're training instead. So she gets really pissed off at that. Then we see Goten and Trunks and they're playing around. And Trunks reveals where the Dragon Balls are located, like near the bingo prizes, which means they're still going to do the bingo game, just like in Battle of Gods. Also, Android 18 gets really happy because their chances of winning are by 3 instead of 1 because she's doing it, Krillin's doing it, and apparently Marin, their 3-year-old or 4-year-old or however old she is daughter, is also doing it. So Yay. But then Chi-Chi gets mad because her chances could have been 4. Well, 5 technically, if you count Videl. Their chances could have been really high, but Goku's not there, so yeah. And then we finally cut to Emperor Pilaf stuff, and they're on this deserted island searching for treasure. Then all of a sudden, apparently Pilaf must have stole the radar a long time ago when nobody was paying attention, because he locates the Dragon Balls, but then it gets shut off again when Trunks activates the shields again. So once that happens, they end up seeing the boat, and they end up getting chased by sharks, and all this hilarity ends up happening. But they finally make their way on the boat. And one thing I'm kind of upset about, because Goten and Trunks were the ones to let them on the boat in the first place. One thing I'm upset about, Emperor Pilaf, Shu, and Mai see Goten, but don't freak out like they did in Battle of Gods. And I was really hoping for that. I was really upset that they didn't do that. I thought they were going to look at Goten and go, oh crap, it's the kid. And they were going to confuse him for Kid Goku. And I thought they were going to freak out. I really wanted them to freak out, but they didn't freak out. Instead, they kept whining about how they weren't hungry when they really were hungry. And then Trunks and Goten decided to do the charitable thing and bring them some food. And then they ate the food, enjoyed the food. And then once they enjoyed the food, they were munching on the food, and once they were munching on the food, after that, that's basically we cut to Whis and Beerus' stuff again. And when we cut to Whis and Beerus' stuff again, we get to see that they basically made it to the planet, to King Kai's planet. King Kai tries to hide Goku in the destroyed house, because Goku wound up destroying the house via, training. So when they hide Goku in the house, Beerus and we show up. And then we get a to be continued. And then that's basically it. Not really this episode wasn't really anything to be amped for, except for one part. One major part. And that's the preview for episode 5. So, they're gonna do the exact same thing as last time. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is gonna be fighting Beerus, which we gotta give a nice warm goodbye to Super Saiyan 3, I guess, because this will be the last major fight that Super Saiyan 3 Goku takes place in. It's all God power from here, so I wish we could cue some sad music or something. Well, I'll probably edit some madness next week when I do the review. Anyway, so we'll get to see Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight against Beerus. The better part, though, is that apparently this fight is way more animated and way more crazier looking than the fight we got in Battle of Gods. I'm guessing because in the movie we only got an hour and 30 minutes, so the fight between Beerus and Goku had to be about, I don't know, 5, maybe 3 minutes max, just so that the whole movie can go about. However, since we have a whole episode dedicated to it, we'll be able to get a lot more screen time with Super Saiyan 3 Goku fighting off against Beerus. Granted, I really hope Beerus still curve stomps Super Saiyan 3 Goku, just so we can see that difference in power, and I'll explain that in a whole nother video. But other than that, we get to see that Goku's Super Saiyan 3 Goku's final fight against Beerus take place. Well, final fight, and it'll be against Beerus. So yeah, oddly, the preview for episode 5 is the most interesting part of episode 4. But other than that, I really don't like that they didn't freak out. I wanted Emperor Pilaf and the gang to freak out. I mean, it's Goten, for Christ's sake. And he looks like Goku. They should have freaked out, but they didn't freak out. So, but other than that, we see that, Vegeta got a call from Bulma, and she was pissed that he wasn't going to be at the party. But if you all have seen Battle of Gods, you'll know he'll show up eventually. So there you go. But with that all said, that's basically the ending of what happened. Not much really super interesting. I think it was just a calm before the storm type deal, to where we can get a nice little layback until we get to the action-packed Goku fighting Beerus. I think what Dragon Ball Super is taking into account is that they know where the action scenes are, and they know where the chill out sessions were in Battle of Gods. So they're making episodes accordingly to both of those key factors, and they're doing it more than likely to stretch it out so Battle of Gods is a nice bulky saga. No matter how many ways you put it though, Battle of Gods saga, if they're going by just the movie alone and not by what I think they're gonna do, if we're going by just the movie alone at the rate they're going, I say the Battle of Gods saga would probably be over at around episode 8 or 9, maybe 10. If they stretch it out enough, maybe 10. But right now we're looking at about an 8 or 9, maybe even 7 if they pick up the pace enough. No, it won't be 7, but I say 8 or 9 will be the ending. Hopefully they can push it to 10 to just make it an even 10. But that's just personally because I hate 9. Anyway, with that all said, my theory on it is that they push Whis, the woman Whis and Champa into it, making the saga longer. But as of right now, they expect this to be the shortest saga in Dragon Ball history. Unless we're counting Dragon Ball GT's Super Android 17 saga or the Garlic Jr. saga. So, with that said, you guys, though, the next episode we will be going to, obviously, is the episode that's for prep, episode 5. And that episode is titled, I didn't have the thing opened up this time. Oh. Basically, it's the Goku versus Whis episode. So, with that said, we will be catching that. And like I said, it's called Goku versus God of Destruction Bear. So, yeah, with that said, I'll see you all then, everybody. I was probably rambling a lot in this review. Sorry about that. Also, get ready for, a lot of Dragon Ball content this week. So see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.